Hello, Fam. It's so good to have you back here. If it's your first time here, such an honor to have you here. And if you're a returning friend, you have no idea how grateful I am and humbled I am that you're back here. And like I've always shared, for those who are here for the first time, my name is fortunately Ingabire, but I like to go by initials F.I.R.M. R from my family of origin and M from the family of my choice. And today I have a visitor on the show, and this is none other than Mr. Mgara, my family of choice. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you.
So first of all, happy birthday month. May you have a beautiful, beautiful birthday in a couple of days. And also, it will be Father's Day in a couple of days. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you for being a good dad. Thank you for being such an amazing father to our children. Well, they are not yet able to verbally say it or even write it out. I want to say it on their behalf. Happy Father's Day. Thank you for being a present and a very responsible dad. We are grateful and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me to the lights. Yeah, I am honored and static at the same time.
Too much
Startled.
English. Too much English, but yeah, it's such an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
As you know, over the last couple of months, I've been sharing our healing journey on the channel. Thank you for letting me share our life story here. And I've received a couple of questions, and some, actually most of it was a desire to hear your perspective, and that is one of the reasons why I requested you to come here today. So I wanted you to briefly share with our viewers about your experience with loss and how you believe it impacted us generally as a couple, but then also life generally. Yeah.
What are the questions again?
I want you to share with our viewers your experience with loss, how you think it affected us as a couple, but then also life generally.
Ibibuzo bingi answer ntono. Yeah, how it affected us?
Yeah.
What again? Us?
Us, and then maybe your perception towards life generally after this.
One, before I even go to us, I think it needs to first be me.
Yeah.
Because from me, I think, then us. Personally, I really want to believe that my life was on a given during that time anyway. I was self-searching, I should say. But when that day miss came, I think it took me thinking that I think I need to have to really go on to that journey. And from that time on, I've since changed, I should say, into a much better version of myself, I want to believe. And I'm really very, very thankful. Yeah, it has taken me into a place of really learning self every single day that passes by. That's really for me. For us, I think it has made me a better husband, a better father, because now it has taught me to treasure the moments that I have with my people. So whenever I'm with my people, with my wife, with my child, I am fully present. Yeah, I think that's my biggest takeout.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know whether I'm fully present because I may be here saying that I'm fully present, and just my friend, you are thinking otherwise. Say this man hawks on TV, but please.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing.
Mm.
I believe you're on the part of what soul searching.
Mm.
I think recently.
What
I
about the
shared,
other parts?
Honey, allow me. I'm done
Okay.
interviewing you.
Okay.
So, recently I shared about your journey with running.
Mm.
Yeah, so I wanted you to just talk more about that. And maybe what did that loss mean to you? How did it affect you as a person? You know, and when it comes to the support around you, how did you feel you were supported? I want to get the feel of that.
So before even being supported, one, I really, really thank God for the people around us, because even with that time, one COVID, total lockdown, no one can check on you, people fear calling you, people fear even texting you. So I realized that most importantly, you need to first allow. Yeah, you need to allow that at one point you are with these people and now you're actually not with them. Yeah, so you need to first, it needs to first sink in. Yeah, so I think it sank in, and from there you can easily move on. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, a bit. So maybe talking about moving on. What does moving on look like?
Moving on, moving on, moving on. Moving on means that I have actually allowed. Yeah. I have allowed that this my dear person is not with me anymore, and maybe we shall meet somewhere if we meet, or maybe we shall never, whatever. But like, I don't know how to best say it, but you need to get to a place and allow that, oh, allow that this person is not with us anymore, and probably just treasure the times you are with that person, and you use them for good. Like the time you are not present, you learn to be more present. The things you think you should have done with that person, I think it's high time to do them with the ones that are available. The things you thought you would, the love you thought you would give at a particular time, I think to me it means that the time is actually now, because you do not know what happens in the next second, for example. Yeah, so the time is always now. The time is always now. That incident really taught me to treasure the now. Yeah, to treasure the now, because the now is what you have. Yeah, you don't know about tomorrow.
Indeed. So basically living in the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
enjoying the moment, not just living in the moment.
But enjoying it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and treasuring it.
Okay. Thank you for that. And I think I believe you to a great extent. And maybe just what I didn't say is that he's the happiness coach. So when it comes to enjoyment, he takes it seriously.
Very much so. Very, very much so, my people.
Enjoys and lives the moment. So I want you to briefly also tell us about your experience as a father generally. One, as a father to your firstborn, and then your secondborn now. Has there been any difference in how you fathered them, or you fathered the last one and fathered this one? What changes do you think have happened along the way based on your experience of losing your first child?
The first one, I think I was just a new father, really gambling at everything and fumbling at everything. This one, the new child is this child is going to have the best of her life, because I want to believe I'm more present than I was then, because I have learned that this is the time to be present. Yes, it's the time to be present, really. Then I don't know whether, but fatherhood really, it's, I don't know.
Do you think that you parent do you does this child get to be parented from a place of how can I put it, from a place of privilege, because the first one is not here, so she probably gets more favors than the other child had?
Like I said earlier, that I'm not postponing for any time but now. So if I wanted, say, to take the other child to the beach at a certain point, this one I'll take like now. I'll say we go to the beach. I'll not wait, oh, next weekend we shall go, let's plan to go. I mean, we don't know whether next weekend we shall be in position to actually go there. So we'll go now. Yeah, not any other time.
Okay. So I want you to briefly speak to a gentleman out there who has experienced loss and is on their healing journey. What is the one thing you would tell?
In these things, I came to realize there's nothing like being strong. No, it then makes sense for you to be strong for everyone, and you're not strong for yourself. I think before you be strong for anyone, you need to first be strong for your own self. Then there you can afford to be strong for anyone else. Yeah, you can't. Actually, you may, but don't allow. First be strong for yourself before you be strong for anyone else. First, go through the pain. Allow and go through the pain. Allow, and in whichever way you want, in whichever way you're going through it, go through the pain. Allow and go through the pain. And the earlier you go through the pain, the better for you. If you're still waiting to be strong for your wife, for instance, then once she's strong, now you start thinking of being strong for yourself, it may be late. I talked to a friend of mine who told me she had never healed for like 3 years. Now imagine being in such a position for 3 years. It's really so hurting for you to be in that place for a long time. And the biggest reason as to why you're in that place is because you're shouldering for someone. And that person is getting well, while for you, you're actually falling. I would say you're actually dying.
So maybe just to break it down a little bit further, when you say let him go through it, let him grieve, what does that look like? Because, you know, like you said, they usually say, be strong for your wife. So usually everybody who is talking to the man is speaking to you, but saying that, you know what, I'm so sorry, man, but you have to be strong for your wife. And usually it appears that once you have lost a child, especially, everyone's concern is towards the woman who was, well, mother of the child. So I want you to break it down deeper. For you, for example, how was it? How was your experience? And how did you going through the pain or the grief look like? Just to give it perspective.
I would really say I'm so thankful to God, first of all, that I went through these things not knowing that I was actually going through them. So I would cry, for instance. I would think about my child and feel sad and went through the system unknowingly. So while everyone is saying, how is this guy handling? Man, I would get to a point and get, for instance, in the bathroom there and really cry. I'm like, oh my God, now, like, this is where we are. Come on, this is where we are. So now the advice I would give is, please go through it. Allow and go through it. Don't be strong for anyone. Like, there is nothing like being strong. It doesn't make any sense for you to be strong. Allow and be vulnerable. Allow and be vulnerable. I think the word should be vulnerable. Yeah, please allow and be vulnerable. There's no strength in this thing. Like, it doesn't make, to me, it doesn't make any sense for you to be strong for the wife, and meanwhile, you don't even know whether you're actually being strong for her. You may even be, you may be being strong in the wrongest of the wrongest ways. So you end up hurting her instead, trying to be strong for her. So I think you need to be strong for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Maybe just from what you said, do you think you've 100% stopped thinking about the child? Has that memory 100% gone out of your mind? Because you said that you never stopped, you would think about the child, you would cry. So do you think you're at a place where you're now 100% over even thinking about the child?
100% stopping to think about the child, I think I would say would be unfair, because I mean, this was my child. I can't stop thinking about the child. It's just that the way I'm thinking about the child is not in a place of how I wish this child was here. I'm not in a space of grief, I should say. But I think about the child. Like, there are pictures all over the sitting room for the child. So every morning when I'm seated trying to read, they are almost the only pictures that I'm seeing. They are the biggest pictures in the sitting room. So I see the picture, I'm like, oh, actually now this child looks like this other child that we have. At times you find there's a hairstyle this child has put on. I'm like, oh, this child has also put on this hairstyle before, like the other one. So I will not say that I have stopped thinking about the child, but I am not thinking about the child in a sense of, I wish the child was here. Now she would be, say, 5 or 6 years now, or no, like, she's not here anymore. She's not making any more years. She's in a good place, I should say. So I'm only thinking about her in a normal space, I would call it.
What is that normal space?
The normal space is that I'm not wishing she's here, because she's not here. Yeah, I've allowed that she can't be here anymore. So I'm just thinking, oh, at one point we had a child, and this child is not with us anymore. So, like, say, I see clothes of that child, and I'm like, oh, this cloth was one time for the other child, and now this one is the one wearing them. So it's not that the memory has gone away or the thought has gone away. It's just that it's in a good space, I should call it.
So it's the memories it's more of the memories based on the things that you see, like her clothes.
Yeah, like, you go to a place and you're like, oh, we actually came here with this child at one time. So this other child is running around. You're like, hey, this other child also used to run around like this. I think it's a child thing. Then you move on. Yeah.
Okay. So I also want us to speak to a couple that's going through grief. Specifically, I want us to focus on two things. One, speak to them in as far as their healing is concerned. And then two, how do they keep their marriage? Because we've had so many stories that usually after loss, couples separate or split. So I want you to speak to that couple and encourage them.
One, and most importantly, is that the best you can do for each other is just to support. You can't, we all grieve in different ways. So you may think you're trying to help this person get out of grief, and yet you're actually worsening the whole situation. I think that's where even, I want to believe that's where the couples normally split, because you're trying to force the other person to get better. You do not know what they're internally going through. You're not giving them space to internally go through whatever they're supposed to hear, and you think you're trying to help. So the best advice I would give is, there's nothing much you can do for the other person. The best you can do is for your own self. And when you're well, you can easily support the other person. Yeah.
So what does that support look like?
Support is, I would say, give the other person space. Unless they've called for you. That's what I would think.
Because doesn't that space create more separation for the couple? Because if you give the person space, it means you're actually giving room for other things that could ultimately affect the marriage.
The space I'm really looking at is give them time to heal. The best you can do is to support, and I'm sure the other person can tell you, you know what, this is the way I want you to support me. Say if there's something, if say you're doing, there's a habit you're trying to come up with, you're like, you know what, I really want you to support me in this. For me to really heal, I've decided to go on to journey X. So support me in one way or the other. Support me in this kind of stuff. So you're not forcing the other person, for instance, to get well. Now you read this, you read that, you do this, you do that. Like, don't force that person to do the things you think are working for you. You find they're actually not working for them. Yeah, so that's the space I'm talking about. Yeah, the best you can do is to support. Just give a hand when needed. Basically, be present in that person's life. I would think I would call it being present. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So, from our experience, indeed I agree with you in as far as support is concerned. But then also I know, like you rightly say, when you're giving space, and because also people grieve differently, everyone is pursuing their own course of healing. So how would you, or what do you think they can do to make sure they are able to at one point come together and do not continue to grow distant because everyone is pursuing their healing individually?
I think you need to be intentional to find out what is actually happening. So for instance, I would ask, oh, how is my wife doing? Like, how is she coping? How are you coping? Like, what's actually happening? Are you writing a book? Are you decided to be on YouTube? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing for you to really get well? Are you running? Are you reading? Are you meditating? What are you actually doing? What are you doing that is helping you get better? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for those insights. Very, very helpful. So I hope if you're out there and you're on your healing journey as a couple, I hope and pray that God will continue to guide you on your healing journey. And like that he said, you continue to be very intentional about checking in on each other. I think it's a matter of checking in. And if you're a gentleman out there, like you rightly said, may you be intentional to accept and say that there is no such thing as, for me to be a man, I have to be strong for the wife, and forget myself, but rather also purpose and pursue your own healing. Let yourself go through the emotions. If you have to cry, cry. If you have to let it out, but allow yourself to go through the emotions as they come, because all of us grieve, and you can bottle the grief for so long. So honey, I want you to give some parting shots to our people who are listening to us. What would you tell them, encourage them, anything really, based on your personal journey as you are healing and as you continue to heal?
Yeah, my parting shots would be for anyone out there, know that you can't give what you don't have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can't give what you don't have. You can't love if you can't love yourself. You can't help someone get through loss if you've not gotten through it. So you first, I should say. Yeah, you first. Create time for yourself. If you can create time for yourself, then you can easily create time for the other person. But you, then the others.
Thank you for sharing your healing journey with our viewers. I believe that they have picked a lot of tips, and that these tips will also guide them on their healing journey. If you are a father out there and you're on your healing journey, we wish you a lot of healing, and we pray that you will be able to allow yourself to go through the moments and the emotions as they come. We know that sometimes it is hard, but we are believing with you that you'll allow yourself to go through that process, because also we know that we have a God who heals, a God who restores, and a God who redeems. And we know, because we have experienced firsthand, that joy does come in the morning, so we are believing God for joy to come in the morning for you. And if you're a couple out there, we pray that God will keep you together, that you will pursue healing together, and that even individually as you pursue your healing, like Mr. Mgara said, you will be able to continue to check in on each other, just to make sure that both of you are on the right track. Yeah. And if you believe this could be beneficial to someone else, please go ahead and share it with them. And over and above sharing it with them, please go ahead and subscribe and like, for you to continue to get more content like this on healing, mentorship, and life generally.